Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to explore the life of one of the most loved comedy characters in the world, Mr. Bean. But this is not just a story about funny faces and silent comedy. This is the real story behind the man who created Mr. Bean. A man who struggled with confidence, who was different, who didn't fit in, and who turned his uniqueness into global success. And as you listen carefully, this video will not only inspire you, it will also improve your English. Because I will explain everything in very easy and clear English, step by step, like a real story. So stay with me till the end. And if you love biographies, powerful life stories, and learning English in a simple way, make sure you subscribe. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Didn't Fit In. Long before the world laughed at Mr. Bean, there was a quiet, shy boy named Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson was born on January 6, 1955, in Consett, County Durham, England. Mr. Bean did not exist yet. There was no teddy bear, no green mini car, no funny expressions, just a small boy growing up on a farm. Yes, Rowan grew up on a farm. His family was not poor, but they were simple and hardworking. His father owned a farm and also ran a small business. Rowan was the youngest of 4 brothers. From the outside, his life looked normal. But inside, he was very different. Rowan had a stutter. He struggled to speak smoothly. When he tried to talk, sometimes the words would not come out properly. For a child, this can be very painful. Children can be cruel. They laugh. They imitate. They point. Imagine being a shy boy who already feels different, and then struggling to speak in front of others. School was not easy for him. He was intelligent, very intelligent. But socially, he felt uncomfortable. He did not shine in conversations. He did not become popular by speaking loudly. Instead, he became quiet. But here is something important. Sometimes, what looks like weakness is secretly training. Because Rowan could not depend on smooth talking, he started using something else. His face, his body, his expressions. Without knowing it, he was developing the skill that would later make him world famous. Rowan was not just a shy boy. He was academically brilliant. He studied electrical engineering. First, he went to Newcastle University. Then, he went to the Queen's College, Oxford. The Queen's College, Oxford became a very important place in his life. Why? Because this is where everything began to change. At Oxford, Rowan met people who were creative, funny, different. And something surprising happened. He joined a comedy group. Yes, the shy boy with a stutter joined comedy. Why? Because when Rowan performed on stage, something magical happened. His stutter almost disappeared. When he acted, he could speak more freely. When he became a character, he felt less afraid. This was a huge discovery. Acting gave him freedom. On stage, he was not Rowan the shy boy. He was someone else. And when you are someone else, fear becomes smaller. At Oxford, Rowan met a writer named Richard Curtis. Richard Curtis would later become a very important partner in Rowan's career. They started writing comedy sketches together. Rowan realized something powerful. He did not need many words to make people laugh. His face could do it. His eyes could do it. His body movements could do it. He studied famous silent comedians like Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin inspired him deeply. Chaplin made the world laugh without speaking much. And Rowan understood something very important. Comedy does not always need language. This idea would later become the foundation of Mr. Bean. Because when you remove language, The whole world can understand you. But let's be honest, it was not easy. Rowan did not suddenly become confident. He was still nervous, still different, still unsure of himself. Many people thought he was strange. Even later in interviews, Rowan said that he always felt a little uncomfortable socially. But instead of fighting his uniqueness, he built on it. He didn't try to become like everyone else. He leaned into his awkwardness. He turned silence into comedy. He turned facial expressions into storytelling. He turned weakness into advantage. And this is powerful. Because the world often laughs at people who are different. But sometimes the world later applauds the same difference. After university, Rowan began performing in small shows. Slowly, he started appearing on television. He created clever comedy characters, and people started noticing. But Mr. Bean was not born yet. Chapter 2. The Birth of Mr. Bean. The quiet boy who once felt different was now slowly becoming confident on stage. After university, Rowan did not immediately become Mr. Bean. First, he worked hard in comedy shows and small performances. He appeared in a television show called Not the 9 O'Clock News in 1979. This show was clever, fast, and full of satire. It made fun of politics, media, and society. Rowan was not playing Mr. Bean yet. He was using words, a lot of words. He was playing smart, sharp, talking characters. And something important happened. People started noticing him. His timing was perfect. His face was expressive. His voice was unique. But still, something was missing. Rowan felt that he had not yet created his true character. He wanted to build someone who did not depend on language. Someone universal. Someone who could make a child in India laugh, and an old man in America laugh, without saying much. And that is when the idea slowly began to form. Rowan had always loved physical comedy. He loved silence. He loved facial expressions. He loved awkwardness. One day, while experimenting with characters, he imagined a strange man, a grown adult, who behaved like a child, a man who did not understand social rules, a man who created chaos in normal situations, a man who rarely spoke. This man would later become Mr. Bean. But in the beginning, he was just an idea. Rowan and his close friend Richard Curtis started shaping this character carefully. They asked questions like, what kind of clothes would he wear? How would he walk? How would he react to small problems? Would he speak much? Slowly, the character became clearer. He would wear a brown jacket, a red tie, a small, serious face, and he would treat everyday situations like huge problems. He would struggle with simple things, parking a car, taking an exam, going to church, cutting his hair, and that struggle would become comedy. In 1990, the world finally met Mr. Bean on television. Mr. Bean first aired on January 1st, 1990. The first episode showed him taking an exam. He tried to cheat, he panicked, he struggled, he made funny faces, he spoke very little. But people laughed, not just in the UK, across countries, because Mr. Bean did not depend on English. His comedy was visual, it was universal, it was pure human behavior. And that was genius. Rowan understood something most comedians didn't. Language limits audience. Silence expands it. Mr. Bean's world was simple. He had a small apartment, a small car, a teddy bear. That teddy bear became famous. Bean treated it like a real friend. He talked to it, he hugged it, he cared for it. This small detail made the character lovable. Because under the awkwardness, under the strange behavior, Mr. Bean was innocent. He was not evil. He was not cruel. He was just socially confused, and that innocence made him powerful. People did not just laugh at him. They felt something for him. They saw a little bit of themselves in him, the part that feels awkward, the part that makes mistakes, the part that does not always fit in. And that connection made Mr. Bean unforgettable. One more important thing. Mr. Bean drove a small green mini car. Mini. That car became iconic. The way he parked it, the way he locked it, the way he struggled with it. Everything became comedy. Soon, Mr. Bean was not just a British show, he became global. The series was sold to over 190 countries. Children watched it. Adults watched it. Families watched it together. And something amazing happened. Rowan Atkinson became one of the most recognized comedians in the world. Without speaking much, without shouting, without complicated jokes. Just expressions, just timing, just character. Behind every episode was careful planning. Rowan was not lazy. He was perfectionist. Sometimes he would shoot a simple scene many times until it was perfect. He believed in quality over quantity. That is why there were only 15 episodes of the original Mr. Bean series. Yes, only 15 episodes. But each episode became legendary. Because Rowan did not rush. He built carefully. He respected the audience. He respected the character. And he protected Mr. Bean from becoming cheap or repetitive. That discipline is rare. Now something interesting happened. Mr. Bean became bigger than Rowan himself. When people saw Rowan in public, they did not say, "Hello, Rowan." They said, "Mr. Bean." The character became his identity. And that can be difficult for an actor. Because when your character becomes too famous, people forget the real person behind it. But Rowan accepted it. He understood that Mr. Bean was special. He understood that this character touched millions. And instead of fighting it, he embraced it. Mr. Bean was no longer just a television character. He had become a cultural symbol. Children copied his walk. People imitated his face. Even adults who didn't understand English laughed freely at his silent chaos. But Rowan Atkinson was thinking bigger. Television had made Mr. Bean famous. Cinema would make him legendary. And so, in 1997, Mr. Bean stepped into the world of movies. Bean was released worldwide. In this film, Mr. Bean travels to America and accidentally becomes involved in a serious art situation. The idea was simple but brilliant. Take this awkward, silent man and put him in a serious professional environment. The result? Pure comedy. Mr. Bean destroys a famous painting. He misunderstands important conversations. He creates chaos wherever he goes. But something interesting happened. The movie was not just funny. It showed how powerful physical comedy truly is. Even in large cinemas across different countries, audiences laughed at the same moments. Because human behavior is universal. Confusion is universal. Awkwardness is universal. Embarrassment is universal. And Mr. Bean captured all of it. The film was a huge success. It earned hundreds of millions of dollars worldwide. For a character who barely speaks, this was extraordinary. Rowan had achieved something rare. He had built a global character without depending on language. But while Mr. Bean was becoming larger than life, Rowan Atkinson remained very different in real life. In interviews, he was calm, soft-spoken, intelligent, serious. Many people were surprised. They expected him to behave like Mr. Bean. But Rowan once explained something very honest. He said that Mr. Bean was almost the opposite of who he truly was. Mr. Bean was childish. Rowan was thoughtful. Mr. Bean was socially unaware. Rowan was very intelligent and educated. Mr. Bean created chaos. Rowan loved order. This shows something powerful. Great actors are not their characters. They create them carefully. Rowan studied behavior. He studied awkward moments. He observed small social mistakes. Then he exaggerated them. That exaggeration became comedy. But Rowan was not only Mr. Bean. Before and during Mr. Bean's success, he had already built another strong character. In 1983, he starred in a historical comedy series called Blackadder. This show was very different. Here, Rowan used sharp dialogue, clever humor, and intelligent sarcasm. It proved something important. He was not limited to silent comedy. He was versatile. He could perform physical comedy and intellectual comedy. Later, he also created another famous character, Johnny English. Johnny English was a spy comedy. It was like a funny version of James Bond. Mr. Bean was silent chaos. Johnny English was confident but foolish. Again, Rowan showed his range. He was not a one-character actor. He was a creative performer with deep understanding of humor, fame, family, and private life. While his career was growing, Rowan also built a personal life. He married Sunetra Sastry in 1990. They had 2 children together. Rowan tried to keep his family life private. He was not someone who loved media attention. Unlike many celebrities, he valued quietness. He loved cars. He collected luxury cars. He enjoyed driving fast. This surprised many people. The quiet comedian loved speed. But that is life. People are more complex than their public image. However, life is not always smooth. In 2014, Rowan and his wife divorced after many years of marriage. It was a difficult period. Even successful people face personal challenges. Even famous people experience emotional struggles. But Rowan continued working. He continued performing. He continued building. There was another challenge. Being known worldwide as one character can be heavy. Imagine going anywhere in the world, and people only see the character, not you. Some actors feel trapped by their most famous role. Rowan once said that playing Mr. Bean required a lot of energy. The physical comedy, the exaggerated expressions, the childish behavior. It was exhausting. As he grew older, he began feeling that Mr. Bean was harder to perform. The character required flexibility and physical movement, and time affects everyone. So Rowan slowly reduced live performances of Mr. Bean. He focused more on films and voice acting. But even if he performed less, Mr. Bean never disappeared. In 2002, an animated version of Mr. Bean was created. Mr. Bean, the animated series. Now children of a new generation could enjoy him. Even children who were not born when the original show aired. This is powerful. Very few characters survive generations. Mr. Bean did. Why? Because his humor was simple, and simplicity lasts longer than complicated trends. Over time, Mr. Bean became one of the most watched comedy characters in the world. Clips of his show reached billions of views online. In many countries, people who don't know Rowan Atkinson's name still know Mr. Bean. That is rare. He became part of global culture, a character who makes people laugh without dividing them. In a world full of arguments and opinions, Mr. Bean simply made people smile. And that is powerful. Chapter 3. Fame, Freedom, and the man behind the mask. As the years passed, something changed inside Rowan Atkinson. Mr. Bean was still loved, still famous, still watched across the world. But Rowan was growing older. And when an actor grows older, he starts thinking differently. He begins asking deeper questions. Who am I beyond this character? How long should I continue? Is this still joyful? Or is it becoming a burden? Because the truth is, playing Mr. Bean was physically exhausting. The character demanded exaggerated movements, strange facial expressions, sudden physical reactions, childlike behavior. All of that requires energy. And Rowan once admitted something very honest. He said that he sometimes felt Mr. Bean was too childish for him as he grew older. Not because he disliked the character, but because he, as a man, had matured. And this is powerful, because many actors stay trapped in one role forever. But Rowan had the courage to evolve. Over time, Rowan slowly reduced live appearances as Mr. Bean. He did not suddenly disappear, but he stepped back carefully. He once explained that performing Mr. Bean felt physically demanding. He respected the character too much to perform it poorly. And that shows discipline. Some people continue performing just for money. Rowan chose quality over quantity. He did not want Mr. Bean to become tired or repetitive. He wanted the character to stay special. That is why there were only a small number of original episodes. That is why every appearance felt carefully designed. He understood something very important. When something is rare, it remains valuable. During this period, Rowan's personal life also changed. After many years of marriage, he separated from his wife, Sunetra Sastry, in 2014. Divorce is never easy, no matter how successful you are. Fame does not protect you from personal pain. After the divorce, Rowan began a relationship with actress Louise Ford. In 2017, they had a child together. At this stage of his life, Rowan became a father again, in his 60s. Imagine that. A man known worldwide for childish comedy, becoming a father again at an older age. Life has its own humor. Rowan was not only a comedian, he was also a strong supporter of free speech. In interviews and public discussions, he openly spoke about the importance of being able to express opinions freely. He criticized laws that he felt limited freedom of expression in the UK. Some people agreed with him. Some disagreed. But Rowan was not afraid to speak. This shows something important. He was not just a silent clown. He was an intelligent man with strong beliefs. He had studied engineering. He had deep thinking ability. He understood society beyond comedy. Many fans who only knew Mr. Bean were surprised, because the real Rowan Atkinson was thoughtful, serious, and analytical. He was not loud. He was not dramatic, but he was firm. There was another side of Rowan that many people admired. His love for cars. Not just ordinary cars. Luxury cars, fast cars, rare cars. He owned some of the most expensive cars in the world, including a McLaren F1. This car was extremely rare and valuable. In fact, Rowan once had a serious accident while driving it. The repair cost was one of the most expensive car repairs in British history. But what is interesting is this. Even after the accident, he did not lose his passion. He loved driving. He loved engineering. He loved machines. Remember, he studied electrical engineering. So his love for cars was not random. It was connected to his mind. He appreciated how things worked. He appreciated design and precision, just like he appreciated precision in comedy. As Rowan grew older, something beautiful happened. People started respecting him not only for Mr. Bean, but for his discipline, for his intelligence, for his ability to create something timeless. Many comedians depend on jokes that become old quickly. Rowan created something that survives generations. That is rare. He once said that he preferred playing serious roles sometimes, because serious acting allowed him to show a different side of himself. He did not want to be limited. He wanted growth, and growth requires courage. It is easy to repeat what already works. It is harder to evolve. Rowan chose evolution. By this time, Mr. Bean had become more than a show. It became a symbol. In many countries, people who cannot even pronounce Rowan Atkinson still know Mr. Bean. Children watch him on YouTube. Families watch him together. Clips go viral again and again. Very few characters in entertainment history achieve this level of universality. And the reason is simple. Mr. Bean speaks the language of human behavior. Awkwardness, curiosity, stubbornness, innocence, pride. These are universal. And Rowan understood that deeply. He did not build comedy on complicated language. He built it on human nature. And human nature never becomes outdated. Chapter 4. The Legacy of Laughter and the Quiet Genius. Even while the world saw him as a silent clown, Rowan remained deeply intellectual. He often spoke carefully in interviews. He chose his words slowly, thoughtfully. His background in engineering shaped the way he approached life. He liked structure. He liked systems. He liked understanding how things worked. Comedy, for him, was not random. It was constructed. Every pause in Mr. Bean had timing. Every eyebrow movement had intention. Every awkward silence had purpose. It looked simple, but it was precise. That is genius. True genius makes difficult things look effortless. Rowan was never a celebrity who chased attention. He did not live loudly. He did not seek controversy for fame. He did not constantly appear in the media. He preferred privacy. He loved his cars. He loved spending time with family. He enjoyed quiet environments. Unlike Mr. Bean, who created chaos, Rowan preferred calm. And this contrast is beautiful. It reminds us that artists are not their characters. They are creators. They build worlds that are separate from themselves. Now let's understand something powerful. Mr. Bean is one of the most watched comedy characters in history. Clips of the show have reached billions of views online. In many countries, children who were born decades after the original show still laugh at the same scenes. Why? Because Mr. Bean does not depend on cultural jokes. He depends on human behavior. Awkwardness is universal. Curiosity is universal. Embarrassment is universal. Pride is universal. You don't need perfect English to understand him. You only need to understand people. That is why Mr. Bean crossed borders. That is why he crossed generations. That is why he crossed languages. And that is why he became timeless. Atkinson also became financially very successful. His net worth grew through television, films, royalties, and global distribution. But unlike many celebrities, he did not build his fame on scandal. He built it on consistency and quality. He did not produce hundreds of episodes. He produced limited, carefully crafted content. And sometimes, less truly becomes more. As Rowan entered his later years, he focused more on selective projects. He returned to theater at times. He explored different acting roles. He allowed Mr. Bean to live in animation rather than physical performance. He once said that he would not completely rule out returning to Mr. Bean. But he also admitted that it becomes harder physically. And this honesty is powerful. It shows maturity. It shows self-awareness. It shows acceptance of time. Everyone ages. Legends age too. But legacy does not age. Rowan Atkinson's life teaches something very powerful. The thing that made him different, made him unforgettable. His stutter, his awkwardness, his discomfort in social situations, those things could have destroyed his confidence. Instead, they built his character. He did not try to become someone else. He amplified what made him unique. And that is a lesson for everyone. You do not need to remove your weaknesses. Sometimes you need to understand them and use them. The boy who struggled to speak became the man who made the world laugh without speaking much at all. That is poetic. That is powerful. That is life. Today, when people think of Mr. Bean, they think of laughter. They think of childhood. They think of simple joy. But behind that joy is discipline. Behind that laughter is intelligence. Behind that character is a thoughtful, private engineering graduate from England who carefully built something timeless. Rowan Atkinson did not just create comedy. He created a global symbol of innocence and awkward humanity. And in a world full of noise and division, making people laugh without hurting anyone is a rare gift. Mr. Bean did not insult, did not divide, did not mock cruelly. He simply showed how silly humans can be sometimes. And we laughed, because we saw ourselves. And that is the end of this beautiful journey. From a shy farm boy to a global icon, from a stutter to silent mastery, from awkwardness to immortality. Rowan Atkinson did not shout his way into history. He quietly walked into it. And sometimes, the quietest footsteps leave the biggest marks. 5 powerful lessons from the life of Rowan Atkinson. Mr. Bean. 1. Your weakness can become your superpower. Rowan Atkinson had a stutter. As a child, speaking in front of others was difficult. Imagine being young and struggling to speak clearly. Imagine feeling nervous in conversations. Imagine not being socially confident. Many people would feel ashamed. Many people would try to hide. Many people would give up on public life completely. But Rowan did something different. Instead of fighting his weakness, he moved around it. When he acted, his stutter almost disappeared. When he used expressions instead of words, he became powerful. And eventually, he created a character that barely spoke at all. Think about this deeply. The thing that could have limited him became the foundation of his global success. If he had been a perfect speaker, maybe Mr. Bean would never exist. Sometimes your weakness is not there to destroy you. It is there to redirect you. Maybe you are shy. Maybe you are not confident in speaking. Maybe you feel different. That difference might be your advantage. Stop trying to remove what makes you unique. Understand it, shape it, use it. 2. Simplicity is powerful. Mr. Bean is not complicated. No complex jokes, no political messages, no heavy dialogue. Just simple human behavior. Trying to park a car, trying to pass an exam, trying to cut hair, trying to behave normally, and failing. That simplicity reached 190+ countries. Why? Because simple ideas travel further. Many people think success requires complexity. But Rowan proved something different. If you master something simple, you can reach the whole world. Don't overcomplicate your dreams. Master the basics. Master your skill. Master your craft. Simplicity done well is powerful. 3. Quality is greater than quantity. The original Mr. Bean television series had only 15 episodes. Only 15. In a world where people produce hundreds of episodes, that number is small. But each episode was carefully created. Every movement was planned. Every facial expression was rehearsed. Every scene was refined. Rowan did not rush. He respected his audience. He understood something powerful. If you create something meaningful, it lasts. He could have created more episodes quickly. He could have earned more money faster. But he chose quality over speed. And that is why Mr. Bean is timeless. In your life, remember this. Slow growth with quality is stronger than fast growth without depth. 4. You are more than one role. Many people thought Rowan Atkinson was only Mr. Bean. But he proved otherwise. He acted in Blackadder. He created Johnny English. He performed serious roles. He returned to theater. He did not allow one character to define his entire identity. This is important. Sometimes the world sees you in one way. But you must know who you are beyond that. You are not only your job. You are not only your mistakes. You are not only your success. You are evolving. Do not trap yourself in one version of you. Growth requires courage. 5. Stay private. Stay grounded. Despite global fame, Rowan Atkinson remained private. He did not chase constant attention. He did not live loudly. He did not build drama around himself. He focused on work. He focused on improvement. He focused on what he loved. In a world where many people seek validation online, this is powerful. You don't need constant noise to build a meaningful life. You need focus. You need discipline. You need clarity. The loudest person is not always the strongest. Sometimes the quiet builder creates the greatest legacy. Now let me leave you with something powerful. Rowan Atkinson did not become a legend overnight. He did not have perfect confidence. He did not have perfect speech. He did not have a perfect start. He had doubt. He had insecurity. He had differences. But he did not let those things stop him. He transformed them. The shy boy with a stutter became the man who made billions laugh. The awkward child became a global icon. The quiet farm boy became a timeless legend. And here is the most important part. He did not try to copy anyone. He leaned into who he truly was. Maybe you feel different. Maybe you feel behind. Maybe you feel like you don't fit in. But remember this. The world does not reward copies. It rewards authenticity. Rowan did not remove his awkwardness. He turned it into art. He did not hide his uniqueness. He amplified it. And that is your lesson. Stop trying to be perfect. Start trying to be real. The thing you are insecure about today may become the thing the world celebrates tomorrow. You are not behind. You are building. You are not weak. You are preparing. And one day, people may look at your story and say, "How did they do it?" But only you will know the truth. You took your weakness. You studied it. You shaped it. You turned it into strength. Just like Rowan Atkinson did. So believe in your difference. Work on your craft. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. And remember, the boy who struggled to speak built a character who didn't need to speak at all. If that is not proof that anything is possible, what is?